In Thailand, an archaeologist named Luke rides his scooter, ignoring a call from a man named Carson. Soon, several cars surround Luke, and Carson demands he return a painting tube stolen from his boss. One of Kasem's men is armed, so Luke pretends to stop. Instead, he waits for a convoy to pass before swerving onto another path, sparking a chase. Luke quickly escapes as the pursuing cars crash into other vehicles. He ducks into a market inaccessible to cars, leaving only one final enemy on a motorcycle following him. As Luke turns into an apartment complex with a very narrow passage, the man on the motorcycle crashes straight into a wall. After heading down the stairs, Luke rushes out of the building, only to have his path blocked. By Kasem's car. He is hit by the car and knocked off his scooter. Luckily, local villagers swarm the vehicle, allowing Luke to escape. Kasem fires a warning shot into the air, ordering his men to pursue Luke. With an injured leg, Luke runs for his life as his pursuers start shooting from behind. Luke quickly calls his team, telling them he won't make the flight. The team advises him to take a train instead. After running through another market, Luke steals a food cart from a vendor. As Kasem's car closes in, Luke detaches the cart from its bike, sending it crashing into Kasem's car. Flames obscure his windshield before Kasem's car collides with another vehicle. The police then surround his car, allowing Luke to escape successfully. At the train station, Luke jumps off the bike and chases the train, leaping aboard at the last second. That night, he falls asleep and dreams of being in an ancient building. There, he finds a golden mask and steals it. When Luke awakens, he finds a young woman named Esme sitting across from him. She says her job is to find and recover rare paintings. The man sitting with her is her subordinate. Luke refuses to hand over the painting, so Esme draws a knife while her henchman begins to choke Luke from behind. Esme tries to wrestle the tube from him, kicking Luke when he won't let go, but he grabs her arm. Esme slips out of her jacket and walks away. Luke grabs a plate and smashes it over the henchman's head before hitting him again, forcing the man to release him. He grabs Esme and kicks another henchman down. Esme quickly retaliates, landing a solid blow on Luke before walking off. Luke fights with another man to get to her. Esme defends herself with the knife, accidentally slicing the tube strap. They each grab an end. Luke dodges a thrown knife and pulls the tube hard, sending Esme flying into the bathroom. He quickly locks the door, trapping her inside. Luke then climbs onto the train car's roof and waits until a water tower is close enough. Luke leaps for it, but misjudges his grip and falls through the roof of a hut. He then quickly calls his team for a pickup. Meanwhile, in London, Luke's sister, Charlotte, is discussing with her lawyer and her cheating husband, Harold, the details of their divorce. Harold wants sole custody of their son, which infuriates Charlotte. Later, while Charlotte is at the museum, she's shocked when Luke suddenly appears, pretending it's a casual visit, even though they rarely see each other. Charlotte immediately guesses Luke must be in trouble. Luke wants Charlotte to join him on an adventure like they used to with their father, but Charlotte says she's a mother now and wants to secure her position as the museum's curator. Luke then says he has a damaged painting. As Charlotte leans in to look at it, Luke secretly steals another painting from the wall, triggering the alarm instantly. Luke quickly flees. As the doors begin to lock, Charlotte runs after him, demanding he return the painting. Luke replies he'll only give it back if she gets in the car with him. Luke speeds off, weaving recklessly. He outmaneuvers the pursuing police cars. After speeding through several narrow alleys, he drives into the back of a truck. His teammates, Murphy and Deb, are the drivers. Charlotte recognizes them immediately, as they were on her father's team. While Luke and Charlotte argue about their life paths, Murphy examines the stolen painting and concludes it's not the one they're looking for. Luke tells his sister she can have the painting back. He then uses a spray to knock Charlotte unconscious. Soon after, Charlotte wakes up on a park bench and rushes back to the museum. There, Inspector Jamal is investigating the case. He begins to suspect Charlotte may have helped Luke, but as they argue, they notice the painting is back in its place. After work, Charlotte tries to pick up her son, Thomas, but Harold refuses to let him go, having heard she is a suspect. Furious, Charlotte confronts Luke for ruining her life, but finds him with a wealthy man named Owen. Owen explains he has terminal cancer and has hired Luke's team to find the Fountain of Youth, his only chance for survival. Charlotte dismisses the fountain as a myth, but Luke believes every legend holds a kernel of truth. Cultures from around the world have records of this fountain, which is unlikely to be a coincidence. Some legends say God hid the fountain from human eyes. Luke's team believes information about it was passed down through generations of a specific group known as the Guardians of the Path. Their duty is to protect this secret. Luke hypothesizes that Esme might be one of these guardians. Back in the 1600s, 6 artists made a pact to reveal the fountain's location by hiding clues in different paintings. These are the paintings Luke has stolen from various countries. They bear a secret Latin signature, sex aunus, meaning 6 paintings pointing to one path. There are also symbols and letters embedded in the paintings, but Luke's team has not yet deciphered their meaning. Charlotte realizes they stole the wrong Rembrandt and they want her to tell them where the real one is, but Charlotte refuses to cooperate, worried about her son. So Owen offers his help, using his team of excellent lawyers in exchange. Charlotte tells them to research the Vanderbilt family. That evening, Luke is reading about the family in a coffee shop when Esme approaches. She tells Luke to stop his search, or she will kill every member of his team. The next day, Luke attends Thomas's piano recital and tells Charlotte he's found the real painting. After a brief argument, Luke convinces Charlotte to join the mission to find the painting. Shortly after, Luke's team is on a boat in Ireland, searching for a sunken luxury liner. It was the last reported location of the painting. They send a special drone down to cut away the section of the ship containing valuables and attach flotation tanks to bring it to the surface. Once the wreckage surfaces, their 2 siblings descend to find the painting, with Charlotte navigating using an old map. On the main boat, Luke's team detects an object approaching on radar. They try to warn Luke, but the radio isn't working. Shortly after, a helicopter lands, bringing Esme and her men aboard the liner. At that moment, Charlotte is drinking alcohol she found in a storage cabinet. Meanwhile, Luke uses a flashlight to open a cabinet with the Vanderbilt name. He pulls out an old box and opens it to find the missing painting. The siblings toast to their success. Luke wants to steal some jewelry, but Charlotte slaps his hand, reminding him they aren't tomb raiders. At the same time, the flotation tanks start to fail. They both realize they don't have much time left. As they are about to escape, they are surrounded by Esme's team. But even so, the 2 siblings don't give up. They start to fight. But in the process, the bag with the painting is dropped. He opens fire, preventing Esme from getting the bag. Some bullets ricochet off the ship's steel frame, while others unintentionally hit the helicopter. Unfortunately, the flotation tanks are also damaged by the gunfire. The liner begins to flood. Luke slips and falls, giving a man a chance to shoot him, but Charlotte immediately smashes a chair over the man's head. Luke rushes to grab the painting but freezes when he sees Esme has taken Charlotte as a HOS. Tage, the damaged helicopter flies away as the liner begins to sink. Luke doesn't believe Esme would actually hurt Charlotte, so he tries to stall for time. Suddenly, the ship lurches. Charlotte seizes the opportunity to strike Esme, pushing her off the balcony and into the water. As the siblings try to escape, a large wave hits, knocking them back inside. Luke's leg gets caught in a net, pulling him underwater as the ship sinks. Charlotte dives back to save her brother, successfully freeing his leg. They quickly swim to the surface and are rescued by their team waiting on the boat. When Charlotte returns to London, Harold asks her to take Thomas because he is moving to Japan for a new job. As soon as he mentions the new company's name, Charlotte realizes Owen was the one who arranged it so she could be with her son. Charlotte then rejoins the team to help examine the letters on the new painting. They piece the letters together to form the word wicked, and considering it with the phrase 6 in 1, they deduce it likely refers to the Wicked Bible, a version of the King James Bible misprinted in 1631. It accidentally printed the commandment as "Thou shalt commit adultery" instead of "thou shalt not." The team begins to suspect that the printing error might not have been an accident, but a deliberate mark on certain Bibles that hid clues about the Fountain of Youth. Today, all those Bibles have been destroyed, with only one copy remaining. Suddenly, Inspector Jamal and his officers enter the room to arrest the siblings, but they are interrupted by the arrival of Qasim and his men, who aim their guns at everyone. Luke proposes a deal. Qasim can take him and all the paintings if he lets his team go free. When Qasim agrees, Charlotte leaves with the others. Luke then pretends to grab the paintings but instead turns on music and dives under a table. He uses a decoy to distract them, allowing the police to ambush the criminals, sparking a fierce fight. They engage in hand-to-hand combat, which quickly escalates into a shootout. Luke's car is hit by bullets. Amidst the chaos, Luke escapes through a back door and his team picks him up by boat. The fight continues, and the police eventually win. When Inspector Jamal approaches the computer, he notices a quote referencing the Wicked Bible. Shortly after, Luke dreams he is in a desert and finds a glass of glowing water. When he sips it, Charlotte and Thomas begin to age rapidly. Suddenly, a voice says, "Don't drink." He drops the glass and at that moment, wakes up on a plane. Luke's team is heading to Austria, where the last Wicked Bible is kept, and this time, Thomas has joined the adventure with them. Later, at the National Library, Luke, Charlotte, and Deb are granted access to an inner area, thanks to a large donation from Owen. Meanwhile, Owen sits in a restaurant with Thomas, answering the boys' questions about the life of the rich. The three go to see the Bible in a secret room where the librarian tells them about another printing error, this time involving a hidden curse word. Meanwhile, Murphy, standing guard outside, sees Esme arrive with her men and quickly sends a warning. Luke goes out to meet Esme, and after a brief verbal spar, they begin to fight, using bookshelves and furniture as weapons. Esme's henchman tries to help, but Luke quickly dispatches him. Esme then prepares to draw her gun, but Luke disarms her instantly. Esme switches to using a rope to choke Luke, but she is standing on it. Luke uses this to push her away, leaving Esme hanging from a chandelier. Luke then returns to the secret room. Murphy informs him that Esme's men have blocked all the exits, so they must use a backup plan. The three use a spray to make the librarian fall asleep, steal the Bible, and Deb plants a small bomb on the floor. It creates a hole large enough for them to escape into the sewer below. At the same time, Esme's men try to kidnap Owen, but he easily deals with them without Thomas getting hurt at all. That night, Inspector Jamal arrives at the library and starts looking for traces of Luke. Meanwhile, at the hotel, everyone is examining the Bible and finds repeating numerical patterns on the book's edge. The numbers only range from 1 to 7, however, they still can't crack the code. At the same time, Charlotte announces she's quitting, having heard what happened to Thomas and doesn't want to put her son ... in danger. As they are leaving, Thomas tells Charlotte they are solving the problem the wrong way. They rush back, and Thomas explains that the numbers aren't literal, but represent the 7 basic notes in music. Thomas plays the melody from the code, and a quick internet search reveals the song is called "Water in the Desert," an ancient song with an unknown composer, but the lyrics praise the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Everyone focuses on the locations of the wonders on a map and overlays the paths from the paintings. They find the paths match perfectly, except at the pyramids of Giza, which could mean the Fountain of Youth is hidden there. They all prepare to travel to Egypt. Owen convinces Charlotte to come along, promising to hire a security team for protection. That night, Luke dreams of the mask again, and this time a mysterious figure reaches out to him. When it touches the sand, a black substance spreads and corrodes Luke. Suddenly, he wakes up, and Charlotte asks how well he really knows Owen. Luke insists Owen is a good person. He says there's nothing to worry about, but Charlotte feels uneasy, fearing he might want to find the fountain to sell it. Meanwhile, at the Vatican, the head of the Guardians gives Esme a special key to prevent anyone from drinking from the fountain of youth. Soon after, the team arrives in Egypt. Luke shows Thomas advanced scans of the pyramid, revealing secret chambers no one has ever accessed. At the pyramid, Charlotte notices the security team and wonders why they brought so many bags. A famous professor shows them around the pyramid, but he doesn't know how to access the secret chambers. Owen starts to lose his patience. He orders his men to begin, revealing the bags contain drilling equipment. The professor protests vehemently, not wanting the important historical site to be destroyed, but Owen's men dismissively throw him out. Charlotte also protests, but Owen retorts with a cold and more cunning demeanor. Outside, Inspector Jamal arrives and asks to enter, but the guards refuse and send him away. A few minutes later, Jamal returns with several police cars. The security team immediately opens fire, blowing up the police vehicles. The survivors take cover and shoot back. Nearby, Esme watches the events unfold, waiting for the right moment to act. Back with the team, Luke and the others have found a secret passage. They venture deep inside until they reach a special chamber. Inside is a large structure that needs to be moved, but no one is strong enough to push it. Owen orders his men to bring out their tools, and Charlotte is shocked to see their bags contain not just drills, but guns. When their tools fail, Owen suggests using explosives. Luke and Charlotte strongly object. While the adults argue, Thomas finds an old musical instrument and starts to play it. The sound resonates through hidden acoustic tubes in the chamber, vibrating the internal structure. At the right moment, Charlotte strikes a large gong, causing the entire room to shake before the sand on the structure slowly forms a shape. Charlotte is then able to move the structure easily, revealing a hidden elevator inside. Everyone quickly boards the elevator and descends. On Murphy and Deb's side, they see the security team has gone too far. The two decide to attack from behind, managing to take out some enemies. However, Deb is shot in the arm. Murphy has to quickly get her to safety. Just as the security team is about to execute them, Esme appears and saves them both. She quickly dispatches the surrounding enemies. More men rush in and open fire on Esme. She uses an enemy's body as a shield while returning fire with precision. With the security team eliminated, Inspector Jamal and Esme agree to cooperate. They rush into the pyramid, taking out all the guards protecting the open structure. Inside, Esme finds a rope in a bag and uses it to rappel down the elevator shaft. When the elevator stops, the team finds a corridor with walls covered in contradictory texts. They reach a dead end with a carving of the Tree of Life. Charlotte places an amber stone from a goddess statue onto the tree. The wall then opens, and they enter another chamber, located at a great height. Luke reaches out and touches a gem on a carving. This causes numerous stairs to emerge from the walls. They walk down to the bottom, and suddenly, a small opening appears, revealing another set of stairs and another room. At the center of that room sits a small pool of water, which appears to be the Fountain of Youth. Charlotte tells everyone about the warning inscribed on the wall. If one is not ready to receive the blessing, they will receive a curse instead. Owen aggressively tries to force Luke to drink first. Charlotte begins to suspect Owen isn't really sick as he claimed, and she's right. Owen admits with a cold tone that he's here to sell the fountain. He then shoots Luke in the arm. This leaves Luke with no choice but to obey. As soon as Luke touches the pool, the room fills with water, becoming the true fountain. Blood from Luke's wound drips in, and the current begins to envelop his body. It lifts him up, his hand glowing as a reflection of his younger self appears. However, just as Luke is about to drink, he sees a vision of Charlotte and Thomas aging rapidly. Luke decides not to drink the water to protect his family and pulls his hand away. The water rewards him by completely healing his wound. Furious, Owen tries to shoot Luke again, but the water rises to protect him and gently lowers him down. Owen then lets his own blood fall into the fountain. As the water begins to envelop him, Esme uses her key on something in the wall, remembering the Guardian leader's warning: if a person whose heart is changed by love drinks from this fountain, they will gain eternal youth in exchange for the life of the one they love. But if someone who only loves themselves drinks, the fountain will drain their life away completely. As Owen drinks the water, his body begins to age rapidly. He screams in agony as the water around him rages. Esme quickly strikes another gong, causing all the doors and the floor opening to seal shut. Everyone rushes up the stairs, leaving Owen to drown and die. On the way, one of Owen's bodyguards slips and falls. Luke slips as well, but Esme helps him up just in time. Now, the corridor itself begins to close, forcing them to dodge numerous obstacles to find a way out. When everyone makes it out safely, Inspector Jamal acknowledges that the true criminal behind everything was Owen. Esme confesses she was impressed by Luke's determination and resolve before giving him a light kiss on the cheek. After saying goodbye, the siblings start talking about their next adventure. Thomas chimes in, saying he already has a great idea. And that's how the movie ends.